Hey folks, Fatty the Firearm here. Recently purchased this gorgeous Fabrique Nationale FN Browning 1922. Now this one's in 32 ACP or 765 Browning, I believe is what the Europeaners were using. I've shot this gun. This gun shoots amazing, and I'll roll in some video at the end of this video of me shooting this gun. But this video is not going to be a review. This video is going to show you how to take this gun completely apart, piece by piece. So first, let's start. Drop the safety. Gun is clear. Now you do have to drop the firing pin, which does suck. Remove the magazine. Set that off to the side. We've already checked it, so right here, all you gotta do is just pull that nub, as you see, pulling it there, rotating the barrel collar around till it comes out. Set that off to the side. You can pull your recoil spring out. Again, set that off to the side. Now what you do is you lock the slide to the rear and rotate the barrel, just a little bit. So you can see I'm rotating it as you're looking down the barrel, counterclockwise. And what it's doing is it's disengaging some lugs inside the barrel and slide. Pull the slide off the frame. Rotate the barrel back vertical. Pull it out, and you can see these lugs engage with right there in the frame. But they also rotate right in there in that little cut when you take the gun apart for field stripping. Grab a little screwdriver. Pull your firing pin and firing pin spring out, and this is how you do a basic field strip. You really don't have to go any further than that for field strip to clean it. I'm going to go a little bit further, so let's get on to that. Now that we have just the frame, first thing to do is take a little flathead screwdriver and remove the grip screw. Now it's one grip screw for both sides. Remove that. Pull the grips out, and now you're left with just the bare metal frame. So let's set these grip panels off to the side, keep the screw with them. Next step is to remove your, I guess that's the next step, is this pin that was right here that holds in your magazine disconnect safety. It goes in right there and just fell out. I guess that actual next step, don't worry about that just now. That one just happened to fall out because it fell out. Take your, you can take a little screwdriver, whatever. Just push this pin out, as you see there. Remember, keep these two pins separated. Pull the screwdriver out. Up in here, you have your magazine, or your grip safety. Remove your magazine catch and the recoil spring. Oh, sorry, the sear spring. It's also the hammer spring or the trigger spring. It does a couple things. Now this is your disconnect for your magazine disconnect. It's got a little spring right there. Just set that off to the side. Normally, after this point, you just drift out that pin, and that would come out. What you can do now is remove the safety, so put it up in the safe position. And with a little screwdriver, just push on the inside. And I'll show you where I was pushing. Let's get the spring out. As the safety was sitting in the gun like this, you push on this edge right here out of the gun. That goes off to the side. Next, you can just push out that pin right there, and that holds in, that's your trigger bar that comes out. With that pin I drifted out a second ago, this is your sear. Now what you can do is drift out your trigger pin. And folks, I don't have a set of actual punches. So I'm just kind of doing this with really tiny jeweler's screwdrivers. Alright folks, couldn't get the trigger spring or the trigger pin out, so let's just put the gun back together normally. So what you can do is first start off take your sear, set it in place, get everything lined up. You're gonna get the holes lined up. There we go. Take your trigger bar, run it down over the sear. So pick the sear back up, rotate it into place. Don't let your pin fall out. These pins are actually really freaking loose. I'm not liking this. So this is probably the last time I'm ever gonna take this gun apart. Set that down. I'm gonna put the safety back in. So you gotta get your sear out of the way for your safety to go back in. Next piece is going to be my magazine disconnect. Now you want to put it in this orientation. So this little spring goes towards the inside of the frame. And I'll show you how I'm lining this up here in just a second. And again, I got to keep that other pin from falling out. There we go. That's in. Now what I was doing there, so you can see right in, I'm finding a good angle. Right in there, a little shiny piece right there. That has to basically fit. So you can see how it has that ledge, basically in that manner. Next step, take your rear plate, or I don't even know what this is called. There's a little notch right there. That's for this little bent piece in the spring. Set it in place. Get this lined up. Now you're gonna want the rear spring tongs. You see how they're touching right there and right there on either side? That's how you want that. Take your grip safety, kind of thread it behind everything and up into the gun. It's got to be straight in there. This is made quite well, except for the pins are a little loose. Now that everything is spring tension, except that damn pin, drop it on the floor. Give me 1 second. And we're back. So after you put your grip safety back in, get all your holes lined up, and this is the hard part. I actually found I had to hold the gun like this so these pins don't fall out. Depress it all the way. That pin goes back in. Now everything is back in the gun, and I'm not editing out and trying to redo this video to make it look like this is an easy thing to do. These pins, or that one and that one, especially that one, are a little bit loose, so I'm going to show you my struggles in putting this back together, because your gun might be a little finicky like mine, so it actually might be a little difficult for you, and it's one of these things you need a third hand, but not enough room for a third hand. Now you can bring your grip panel back, set that into place. You got the grip panel. Take the grip screw. And since this is going directly into wood on this side, you don't need to tighten the thing down really, really bad. Let me get all the other parts in here and I'll put the gun back together completely. Now that we have the rest of the parts, start with the slide. Put your firing pin and firing pin spring in the slide. There's only one way it can go in, so you really can't screw that up. Put your barrel back in the slide. Remember, hold the slide upside down. Keep your barrel lugs facing up. It'll go right in, but don't stick it all the way in. You can't. See how it locks up? About right there. Rotate everything around. Don't let your frying pan fly away. Take your grip and take the frame. Run on the gun. Lock it in that second notch. Rotate the barrel back into its position, vertically. Reinsert your recoil spring. And let that come forward. And once you get, this part, so if you're, the gun's facing straight up, this, this little catch is going to be at about a 45-degree angle. There you go. Let's get the magazine back in here. Do one dry fire to make sure it works. So the safety works. Thumb safety works. Okay. Gun actually fires. All right, maybe 2 dry fires. So the gun actually does fire after I've put it back together. So folks, this has been Fatty with a Firearm. I've showed you how to take apart a Browning model 1922 in 32 ACP. I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and sorry for the crudeness. I did want to show that these can be a little bit challenging to put back together, especially if your pins are loose. Again, I did not want to edit out any of my boffos or mistakes. I wanted you to know that this is how it's going to be. Again, folks, this has been Fatty with a Firearm. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and wait for more videos on this cool gun and other cool guns in the future. Thanks for watching.